Welcome to the Disruptive Innovation Festival and thank you for joining this session. Do we need new businesses that disrupt the economic system we live in? That is something we want to explore today. Our economic narrative is obsolete. It's harmful and it has led us to extreme competition and to believe we are individualistic and materialistic people. Yet, to be so materialistic, we have been mistreating many materials for a long time, just as if our planet wasn't finite. Today, we're going to hear how a new business model can create social impact by having a whole new set of values, a different structure, and many different objectives. We will also talk about the importance of happiness and personal development to feel empowered and believe we can change the system. My name is Laura Franco Henao, and I am delighted to welcome today Carlos Mancilla, the founder and happiness manager of Social Growing, a business and a new business model in Chile. Welcome, Carlos.
Thanks.
We'll
I'm
be
very
taking
happy
questions
to be here.
throughout, so please do put your comments and questions to Carlos in the comment space next to the stream on the session page. You can also ask questions through Twitter by using the hashtag ThinkDiff. Now, Carlos, before we talk a little bit more about your business, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself, your story, and the context situation of the economy of Chile?
Sure. Well, my name is Carlos. I am 37 years old. I'm a father. I'm industrial engineer. I studied industrial engineer, and I used to work for more than 10 years for big companies here in Chile. And Chile is a very small country in South America, beside the Andes Mountain, beside Argentina. And we have a very special context about economy because our economy is the most liberal economy of the world. Here in Chile, everything is a company. Everything is a business. You know, the water supply, health, education, transport system, highways, everything is private. So we start this model like 40 years ago, and at the very first decades, looks well. Looks well the growth, and the debt increase, and the people buy houses and cars and everything, and business start growing. But now we are in a very huge crisis. This model is not working. The unhappiness of society is so high in Chile because nothing works. So we are the we have the biggest inequity of the world in and there we have a lot of multimillionaires in Chile. We are a country that the main economy is the resources, the natural resources. We produce a lot of food, we produce a lot of fishes and copper, and we depend uh, of that kind of business, the natural resources business. So now we are facing the earth change, the geological change, the climate change, and that is affecting us and affecting the rest of the world. So Chile is really weird. We are cut in the cutting edge of economy. So I see, and the rest of the world are moving to our system. The countries that are not so were not so capitalist are moving to capitalist model. We see Argentina, Brazil, Spain, a lot of countries moving to this model, and this model do, doesn't work well. It's very sad. It's a sad model. So I start working on and change this economy to help Chile, help society here.
So, Carlos, we already have a question from Kinga that she's asking us, did something in history happen that triggered inequity, especially in Chile?
Well, finally, we understood well what is the main problem in Chile, and is the biggest economic groups and the corruption. So we have a very corrupted government, but it's very related with the economy. Our governments have business or are financed by the big companies. So business and politic is very close here in Chile. You can start a big business here. You have to be a friend of somebody, and know somebody or pay to somebody. So that is a huge problem because these groups control everything. So we have 4 or 5 big groups, so maybe 7, that control everything. They own the highways, they own the schools, they own the retail chain, everything, food. So they always uh, inc- are always create increasing their profits and increasing the cost of the life, increase the price of the products. So the inequity is the result of a group of people trying to make more money, make more money, make more money, and the wages are not increasing. So we have a lot of poverty here in Chile. There is a lot of people earning low money, and very few with big profits. So that is the result of the wrong economic and politic management here in Chile.
And are all these factors that you just mentioned the reasons that led you to create social growing? Or could you underline any other aspect that made you create this business?
Uh, uh, you're talking about a question about social growth itself.
Yeah,
What?
like why what you just told us about well major problems that are happening or that exist in Chile, and I was just wondering if these were the main reasons behind the idea of
Yeah,
creating social growing as a new
yeah.
business.
I'm going to share a little on a slide um, to show what is the key elements that move me to try to change the economic paradigm. One is my son. Can you see? Yeah.
Yeah.
One is my son. I'm a father. I'm very worried about the world situation. We are seeing hurricanes, tornadoes, wildfires, earthquakes, mudslides, tsunamis, volcanoes, everything. And we are seeing year by year that these uh, natural disasters are increasing. So we have to change. We need a big change. We need a disruptive change. We need another a very fast movement, but around the world. So because the governments and the big companies are not moving, are not worried about the war, are not worried about the food, are not worried about the all the people that are leaving their countries to move to another country because they don't have water or they don't have food or they don't have houses. So we are entering in a huge crisis, global crisis, in a humanitarian crisis. We have to face it and solve it. And that is my main motivation to work in social growing, create social growing, and start creating another kind of disrupt business.
And you describe your business as a quantum company. What exactly do you mean by a quantum company?
Yes, and a quantum company is a very weird description, um, but you can see the screen.
Yep.
Well, we have the basic structure today, 2018, is uh, the companies. We have a lot of companies, and the society is ruled by this kind of companies. I call these companies 1.0, the first version of the companies that maximize profits. Their main power is maximize profits. And now we create this new model that is a company 2.0. Is the evolution of the previous model. And this model maximizes happiness. So the mindsets, the structure, and the processes are different of the traditional or conventional kind of business model, so it's a different business model. And what is the difference really? What is a quantum company? Well, there is a lot of models and practices that are together in this new model. We use cooperative model. We are based in circular economy. We are in permaculture, fair trade, quantum physics. We understand quantum physics and what are the new paradigms in physics. So there is a some kind of aspects about that are very helpful for us to understand reality, understand human beings, understand mind, because the new paradigm in quantum physics is the observer affects material reality, that everything is connected, that we have energy, everything is energy. The matter is only 4%. The rest is dark energy, dark matter. So is very huge, the change of way to think about how universe work, how people works, how the emotion, how affects everything is vibration. So we're we are moving and creating things, a new business model, but taking this new acknowledge. So human development is important. We have a department that makes social development. So this economy create profits, but that profits are used to human development, social development, fair trade, etc. So we create only business models that are disruptive. So we are creating disruptive new business model and products in every aspect of life. So we are trying to create new water distribution, new kinds of retail products, new kind of energy models, etc. So we use to, that is the most one of the most important thing, the best engineering and the best industry practices, because there is a lot of models that don't take this as a powerful tool, because the traditional and the conventional model use the best practices, use the processes, use the metrics, use the engineering, but for only to create profit. Here we use the same tools, the same practices, the best practices of the world. So we need that to change the previous model. This model must be better than the capitalist model. And crowdfunding is very important because this company is found financing by regular people. It's not financed by big investors and big sharks and people trying to get more profits. We have a small investors, but we have raised $500,000 only with people, regular people, doctors, teachers, etc., musicians that are investing in this new model. So we take this all these kind of practices, and we mix it and create this new model that is social growing.
Okay, Carlos, in that slide that you just shared with us, we can see many different concepts. So just to to make it clearer, could you give some examples of how you applied, for example, quantum physics to your business model, or how is that different from a normal business? I want to show the audience some examples of how all these principles or concepts that you said you apply in your business model actually work in reality.
Yeah, sure. Well, the experiments or the new discoveries in quantum physics, one of the biggest is that when small particles is that everything everything is vibrating, and all the realities are together, so in one reality we are in this conversation, but in a different reality, I don't know, I am not in the festival. In another reality, I died. In another reality, you died. And so all that reality are together, are real, but the observer, the people that are making the experiment, uh, change the condition of the results of the experiment. You know, so that's that means that you are creating the reality. You know, so I applied that concept to organizations. Because we are human beings. Human beings can affect reality, can affect uh, I don't know, to the reality and the dimensions. Can move. We are quantum persons. We are involved in the functioning of the universe. So if each people can affect, if each observer can affect, you in an organization, you have a lot of people, and that people are thinking in things, are they have emotions, they have dreams, everything. And if you manage the people, you can create the reality of the company you
And I
know
suppose that has to do with your role as a happiness manager.
yes,
How
that's
is that
right.
different from a normal manager?
Yeah, a normal manager, well, a conventional company has a CEO or a general manager that administrate marketing, sales, operations, finance, etc. So I am a CEO. I am a general manager, but I have more work because I have to measure and manage the happiness of the business, not only the happiness of my workers. I have to measure and manage the happiness of the investors, the customers, the service providers, the factory, different aspect, the different aspect of the business chain.
And
So if
how do you make
Mhm.
sure that everyone is happy? How do you measure it? And I'm sure that you get this question quite often, but happiness is sometimes it's something that is
It's
abstract. It's
something,
something that
yeah,
means different things to different people.
yeah,
So
it's
how do you manage these, and how do you make sure that
yeah,
everyone is happy? Do you have some kind of technique support for people in
sure.
your company?
Sure. Yeah. Techniques, different techniques. We have coaching. We in the business culture, all the people must understand their self. We have a program on human development. Yeah. So people are pushed to learn to how to meditate, understand their minds, understand their emotions, understand their life, the what you want to do, what are your hobbies, or what how you can be happy. So as a happiness manager, I create the environment to provide all the tools, all the techniques to the people to increase their happiness. But the main responsibility is of the people because they know how they can be happy. What work they like to do, and if they want to see, if they like to play sometimes video games, they can hear. We have a lot of video games. In my case, I love video games, so I used to play a lot. If I stop playing, there is a problem, you know, that affect me. So if I don't make sports, if I stop studying, if I stop in see my child or something like that, my happiness decrease, you know. So it's important to create the awareness in all the workers about this. You are responsible of your happiness. So I'm here to help you.
And Carlos, as much as I think that this is essential, to make people that they belong to some like a workplace and to make them believe in what they want and in what they dream. And I think that especially feeling lonely is one of the biggest problems that we have now in the era of digital connection. Um, isn't it sometimes a bit invasive to ask your coworkers about their mood or how they feel? Maybe some of them don't want to share their feelings. Is that something that you have to make sure they understand before they join your company?
Yes, yes. The selection process is very strict because we need people here, and the people that are working here, they want to change the world, and they want to change themselves. So if you have a collaborator or a worker that don't want to improve themselves because they don't want to communicate, or I don't know, face their their ego or their fears, and it's not a good worker, because that worker can't work in this kind of environment that everybody are progressing. So if they are everybody are running and running faster day by day, in some moment this guy that don't want to change or don't want to understand or improve themselves, finally he leave the company, or I take the decision to, okay, take go to the system, to the traditional company, or work in your way, because we have a different way to work. So here the people is very open. I am very open. We have coaches, a lot of coaching, and everybody are a team, are working together to progress. So that is very important because it's part of the business culture, and you have to set it, and you have to measure it, and you have to communicating inside of in your company. So if you do that, you can improve, create more awareness in your company, in your team. So regular companies do that. The mining company try to safety and very key elements. But here in social growing, the key element is first thing in your happiness. Work hard, very hard, change the world, think differently, try to show your solutions, prove your solution, and make a test, and make a and if it works, we have to increase that. And so that is our business culture, and we are working very hard and very well, very, very, very well.
Okay, so we've seen that you have a very different business culture than, let's say, conventional businesses. But now I would like to talk a little bit more about what you do, and then focus on what kind of impact you have, and is if you act in Chile, or if you're planning to move to other countries. So what is it that your company produces?
Now we have our first model, because social growing was created 3 years ago, and our first. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. So our first product, our first business model is hygienic paper. is We have a new brand called Incoludido. It's a new hygienic paper brand. And here in Chile, we had 2 years ago a huge business corruption case in hygienic paper. There is an hygienic paper cartel, and the three biggest companies of hygienic paper, that are companies 1.0, they are in a market of $500 million year by year. They create this cartel and increase the cost of the hygienic paper to the sky. So here in Chile, the cost, the price of the hygienic paper is like London, and the income in here in Chile is very, very, very low. So that is a very huge problem, an economic problem, and so we create a new brand. So we have this new disruptor player in this market. So we are increasing, we are producing a lot of paper and selling month by month. We are increasing. We get to a TV show. We get famous about this kind of product and this kind of way to to fight against the corruption in business. And we have social impact too with our model. So the social impact is related to Incoludido. Incoludido is the hygienic paper we are selling. We are creating profits, and that profit are used to improve society. How we do that? Well, first we are working with childs, homes of childs that are very poor and they don't have families. So we have a huge crisis with childhood here in Chile. We have a lot of a network called Sename that is not working well, and childs there are suffering a lot. So we use this money to make a lot of education to the kids, like create sushis, boxing and therapist courses, and dancing, video games, everything. So Incoludido is there working with the child, and we work in the streets. So we change the streets using the graffiti and the art, urban art. So we are now making a lot of improvements in the cities with support of the city halls to paint the city and create new happy streets for the kids and for society in general. So we are
Carlos,
working. Yes.
sorry to interrupt you, but we have a question from Twitter from Anna Q, and she's asking, what are the main barriers to compete with the existing competitors? In the case, for example, for toilet paper.
The main, sorry, the main
barriers or the main
barrier.
challenges that
Okay.
you have to
Yeah.
face when you compete with these multinationals or big companies.
Yeah. They have their works to operate. They works with the huge retail companies, with Walmart, and they have arrangements. They have it's like a mafia. They block new brands in the market, but we create a different business model. So we sell in the small shops, and we sell using internet, and we sell using apps and online applications in our cell phones. So we are distributing with collaborative models. We're using fair trade and a lot of networking. So there is the big barriers are, well, the corruption and the financing, because nobody wants to finance a new crazy project to disrupt the economy of fight against the big companies. But there is a lot of people that are able to do it,
So,
but they
Carlos,
are small.
relating to another question that the same person has asked, how does your philosophy translate into generating business revenue? Um, I assume that you also need to have a change in consumption. Like maybe you create this product, but how do you make sure that people get the message across, and instead of buying toilet paper from multinationals, that maybe they don't use a fair trade model, maybe they don't have this happiness business culture. um, how do you make sure you have an impact on the way people consume?
Yes, well, we are mindset changers. We here in Chile, we have a very capitalist mindset. People are not open to introduce this kind of practices, but we have a very good product. First, we have a good quality, and the price is lower than the big companies. So our product is good quality, good price, and we have social impact, and we have a huge disrupting marketing campaign. So people are joining us as a fan. So we are affecting in the mindset of the people. And we in two months ago we appear in a TV show in the main channel here in Chile, and the people start seeing our brand and seeing how we work, and starting to prefer our brand against the corrupted brand. You know, we are the only new brand that are not corrupted, and the only brand that has social impact and is the cheaper brand. So with that kind of elements, you can disrupt the market. You have to be cheaper than the rest of the company. We are misunderstanding that sustainability or social responsibility is against the profits or against. And here in Chile, we are creating profits, and we are using that profit for in a good way. So we with this model, it's better than the other model, because our costs are lower than a regular company, because it's a collaborative model. So a lot of people help us, in logistics, in everything. We have a lot of volunteers working, a lot of people trying to help us. So when you move and you create a nice, very nice disrupting marketing campaign, people start joining you and start buying you and start investing in on you, and you start growing fast. So we are growing very fast, really.
Are you growing to other countries, and do you plan to expand to other
Yes,
products?
yes, we are expanding here in Chile, and we are expanding to rest of the countries of South America. We are planning to jump to every countries of the world to 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 share this model and start creating new business in the rest of the company using this model.
And we have a question on the DIF website from Andrea. And she's asking, do you target with your products the rich people of Chile as well, or is your main target group, let's say, like medium class?
Yes. Yes, we target to the medium class and the lower class. We work in the bad part of the cities, and because there that is the people that are suffering this model, and it is the more than 90% of the population. So the richest people are maybe the 5%. So we are targeting to the 90 or the 95%.
Okay, and also another question on our DIF website from Ilma. And she says, how do you achieve social impact and lower prices than your competitors? As usually taking into account environmental and social issues contributes to a price increase.
Yes. Well, the traditional model, the conventional companies, they try to maximize profits to take it, to take it and invest in that, or I don't know, in the Virgin Island or in Switzerland. in so I have a different mentality and different mindset of business, of working and living the life. So for me, it's not important to increase my bank account. For me, the most important is the company growth. So if I have money, I use it to very wisely to increase the workers' conditions, to increase to help society, and the profits are used to increase the business. To increase the business, to invest in in our business, to grow it. So it's just a different culture. You create profits to take it to another financial system, or you create the profits to use it very wisely, and that is the difference. And because I am a collaborative initiative and a social initiative, my cost is lower than a regular company. So my company is more flexible, is faster, they have a lower cost, and a huge social impact. So we are increasing the sellings. We are increasing every day. We sell more. So that is the key. That is the key. Sell a lot. Sell a lot. Start disrupting the business. Uh, Win the market share, and use the profits. If you increase your magnitude, you have lower cost. So you can indeed lower more your prices because you are selling more, and you use the economy to. But a regular company use if they lower the cost, they increase the profits. So it's different to how to manage the financials, the finance inside the company.
And Carlos, do you know any other businesses that work the same way as yours
The
or
same way,
similar
no,
way?
no, because there is some kind of companies like big companies, but they don't make change in the structure, and they have maybe social impact or environment impact, but they don't try to change the business model. And there is some kinds of disrupting companies, but are not focused in social development or human development, because we are integrated. The human development is integrated in the company. So I think we are the first company that works in this way to create happiness, maximize happiness, create this new structure that is focusing happiness. It's not a pyramid, it's a circle, it's a sphere that is growing. So it's different. It's really different. So we are very unique, and my plan was create something unique and share that this unique to the world, to set a new a new a new model for everybody. I want to change. I want to share my one of the. This is very important because we have only 12 years to change everything, and the world needs an exponential change. We need exponential growth in new social structure. We have 12 years, and we are 7 billion of people, and we have a lot of social structure, different companies, different foundations, government, etc. So this new social structure must grow exponentially, and the new model must be disruptive. So everything must be disruptive. The marketing, the everything must be disrupted and viral. So people take this and share it, and could spread for the rest of the world very very rapidly. So should be a practical method, something that can you replicate and share in different countries, in geographies, and start working as one, connected. So Russian, Chinese companies, people from London, replicate this model and share it to the rest, and start working together and make a lot of synergy. And there should be bottom up. So this evolution must start in the bottom and disrupt the up, the upper side of the pyramid. So this model with this model, everybody can create a new kind of company. So using this model, you guarantee the efficiency. Is more efficient. This kind of company is more happy. They have more powerful. So if we create these kind of companies in the bottom, we will disrupt the markets and create awareness in the rest of the world that this kind of new structure on the bottom is great. So today for us it's very important to share this and get some people from other countries interested in this model to jump and open offices in all countries. In all the biggest cities of the world, and share this model in universities, and teach how you can create a happiness maximization and create a new collaborative system, that we are a lot of people creating new structures, thinking in the same way, sharing information, creating synergy in the systems, creating system for the world, creating system for humanity, working in solve the geological change, repair the atmosphere, repair the oceans, repair the plastic in the plastic problem, and all the problem that we have in society. So new companies can work together and create a new system, a new system for the world, with clean energy, with different kind of education, different kinds of health, and everything. So we are working on that, and we need that. We need that. It's very urgent. We have only 12 years to create a worldwide change.
Thank you, Carlos. And unfortunately, we have to end this session very soon. So I hope the viewers and the audience online has found this session as interesting as I did. I would outline three main areas that we have covered. So what are the differences between these kind of businesses and a normal business, and why we need more of these ones after our economic system has failed. We have talked about the particular role of changing the objective from maximizing utility to maximizing happiness. And also, we've talked about how we can use our agency to create new businesses and that have a positive social impact in our wider societies. And I would like to share here one quote that I love from Albert Einstein, that is, the world will not evolve past its current state of crisis by using the same thinking that created the situation. So I think this is what we need now, and I think this is what you have been talking about through the whole session, Carlos, that we need to think in a different way about our economy and about us within this economy. So thank you for taking the time to tell us about your business model, and to the audience that has attended this session. You can learn more about social growing by visiting their website. We will be sharing this information on the session page in the comment space. And if you still have thoughts or questions you want to ask Carlos, or if you're watching the recording of this session, we still want your comments and feedback. So please use the comment space on our session page. And we have a lot of events coming up at the Disruptive Innovation Festival. We believe that circular design principles can be applied to many different sectors. And right after this session at 5 o'clock, we will be discussing in a DIF studio session how we might apply them to such an important and complex area as it is emergency healthcare. Moreover, we have released today the Disruptive Innovation Festival documentary called System Reset, in which we build upon the idea discussed in this session of a need for a new economic system. And we explore in this documentary what some of the new features of a new economic system might be. So if you want to know more about this, it is available now on our website. Thank you again to Carlos, and please remember to catch up on everything that we have at thinkdif.co.